So I would like to recapitulate about how we make decision regarding the type of the problem, the human-centered problem. For example, I will focus on chaotic. Okay. We will note that it is chaotic when the related variable or variable control are have a lot of variables. There are so many variables, or it is very difficult to um, be prepared for it. So that's gonna be like chaotic situation. The clarity between cause and effect. Um, I thought of like earthquake, for example. There are many factors related to the cause of earthquake. For example, it's a natural disaster, right? And it could be the temperature of the core of the earth is so high, which could come from the natural itself and also the human impact on, let's say, crude oil exploration, let's say greenhouse gas emission, and the global warming, which could make the disaster become more severe. So that's chaotic. Benefit from experience, I would put in this word instead, like the negative impact of it is high. When it's happened, the negative impact is so high. So that's chaotic. Okay. Meaning that in this word, it's like the positive impact is so low. In other words, right? There are failure in the work. I would put in this word. Once it happened, it is very difficult to make it to recover. It's like difficult to recover from the situation. We will need some time. We will need to have manpower to help. For example, tsunami, right? When it happened, so many people died. So many infrastructure failure and so many infrastructure that we cannot use. For example, people don't have toilet to use during the tsunami in that area, right? So it's the situation that in order to recover back to the normal, it takes such a long time and so many effort that we need to put into it. So that's chaotic. In order to solve the problem or in order to make the problem become less severe, we will need to use like creativity, problem solving skills, and need professional experienced people. For example, like medical doctor, nurse, and not carpenter, but like ช่าง นี่เรียกว่าอะไร engineering scientists to help out, so that the process and the recover of the situation can be developed. Okay, so that's chaotic. Okay, I want to make sure everyone are on the same page regarding this. Okay, so this is class activity. I will skip to the activity assignment that we will focus on today. It is a group assignment, so I will ask you guys to send the name first in the chat, Zoom chat, and then I will reply that, okay, this is gonna be group 1, group 2, and group 3. Each member need to memorize that, okay? Because it will be your group for this activity assignment and also your final assignment as a group as well. So yeah, I will inform you guys regarding the detail today as well. Okay. In addition to send me the name in the chat of the Zoom chat, before you submit the assignment, you will need to create one of your team member will need to create a group on LEB2 as well. Okay, just keep that in mind and make sure that you have all the member names in the group. Okay. Regarding online working, right? So last week, some of you used the Post-it to brainstorm your individual work, right? So this week, you could continue using that like template, or I have some example of the template from another section in case you guys would like to do similar template with them. Okay. But for me, in my opinion, the template is not the most critical thing. The critical thing is that, okay, the objective is to do this, and then you deliver it. Okay. Let's see. As I mentioned, one of your team member need to create a group in LEB2, and also the online board brainstorming as well. Okay, so that you can work on it together. Could be Canva. Okay, some people use Miro. It's okay as well. Individual work is part where you guys express their ideas into a group. So this group assignment will have the individual part as well. So on LEB2, you're gonna see activity assignment group and activity assignment individual. So for the group, one person submit, that's enough. But for the individual, everyone in the class will need to submit it. Okay, but I will go over in detail what to be submit in the individual part. So the time for brainstorming, approximately when the time is up. Okay. Regarding the state of skill training, so we begin with, right now you guys have the problem that you categorize based on the Kinefin framework already, like the homework from last week, right? Everyone have it. And then the second step is to find key idea, then group the problem that look the same, meaning that you will combine problem from everyone in the team member, and then you group them into the topics, for example, about education, about healthcare, about general everyday life, daily life. Okay, could be like some group for the problem that you guys wrote. Each team will need to select one problem from complicated type. Okay, just one problem from complicated type of the Kinefin framework. So you're gonna need to like vote or something, like to select which one your team gonna focus on. And then each of you will propose the solution to that problem that you guys selected. After each individual proposed, you will need to discuss among your team. Are we gonna combine some of the solution or all of the solution? Or are we gonna select the solution from one person in our group? So you need to have that conversation. Okay. And with that, you could also use AI to add on the solution that you guys selected. Okay. Add on meaning that could be additional detail. The big picture is like you guys combine the problem from each team member based on the type of the problem, And then the lead teacher suggests to categorize the problem, for example, about learning, about education that I mentioned. After that, each member will need to propose solution. Oh, okay, first of all, the complicated one, right? So your team need to vote on the problem to select one problem from complicated type, and then each person come up with the solution. And we have example about solution based on like people, product, and process. Okay, we have more detail. For example, in order to solve that problem, how do we need to train people? Or any product that could help solve the problem. Product could include like application as well. Okay. What are the process of solving that problem? So each individual, everyone in this class will need to propose that. But first of all, you guys need to select one problem from complicated type kind of in framework of your team member problem from last week. Okay. And then you explain how your team gonna solve the problem. So let's see. The template is not like necessarily that all four have to be on the same page. You could add page is okay. Okay. And this one is to represent categorizing the topic of the problems in each type. And this is like individual proposed solution. But then later on, you will need to combine them and not really combine, but to discuss with each other, which one gonna be the one that, or not which one, like what will be your group solution. So you guys decided on the best solution, and then you explain about it. In addition to this process, the teaching team suggests you guys to use AI to add more detail regarding your solution. When you're gonna add detail, when you're gonna use AI, they ask you to add the prompt that you use. This one should be number 2, 3, 4. Conversation 1, 2, 3, 4. Tools is like ChatGPT or it's like Gemini, like tell the name of the tools that you use. You put the date and the prompt, and then the output that you receive, put it here. So this is required. Okay, every group will need to have this reference. Okay. The example of the process is like here. So the first member, the second member, you combine based on the type of the problem. After that, you categorize them or like group them. Okay, for example, this is the topic of education or studying, the group relationship, การทำงานกลุ่ม about health, time, it could be like time management as well. Or it is like family and social pressure. Oh, okay, no. And then you could identify key insight. Or this one is like summarize. Summarize is not a requirement, but you could also type it what you have learned about the problem that your team identify. This is the note that you guys must organize all group, including complex and chaotic level. Okay, so meaning that after you combine every team member problem from last week based on the type, you need to organize the topic of the problem. So I would suggest if you have like 3 team members, right? So each person could organize each type of the problem. But if some type have not so many problem, the person could organize another type, for example. Okay, so you could share the workload. That's my point. Okay, because you need to lead it, right? Okay, this is the education topic. This is the traffic jam topic, or something like that, right? So that's my point. You will need to organize all 4 type. Okay, so it's like the teaching team suggests for you guys to organize them. Education. Okay. After you have organized them, you take a look at the complicated type. For the complicated type, you will need to select, each group will need to select just one problem. So you're gonna need to vote it. In this case, this example is like everyone have 1 star. Each team member have 1 star. And then you put on it. You're gonna know which problem your team selected. It's like voting. So for example, this team, they select planning to finish your study on time as the topic of study today for the activity assignment today. Okay. So after you select the topic of problem based on the complicated type, then each person will need to present, to write down your thought about solution, potential solution. Okay. Thinking based on like people, product, and process. How to solve with people. What behavior skill do I need to adjust, and what knowledge do I have? Not really but the team, your team need to have. Is there any product tools that can help? Like application, digital platform, device, or service? I heard a student just joined. If you haven't checked attendance, you can type your name in the chat box. Right now, I'm explaining the assignment today. Right now, I'm on the individual solution proposal. After you select, so first of all group need to select one problem from last week homework, right? So you combine all the problem and you select one problem from the complicated level. What is the process of solving the problem? For example, surveying, experimenting, and follow up. So this is the individual part that everyone will need to submit on LEB2 in addition to the group assignment. Okay. It would be nice to put the question that your team select as well. Yeah, it's helped me when doing the grading, but usually I do parallel, like I open the group one and then I open the individual one. So you could think about what skill do people need to have in order to solve the problem that your team select, the product that could be useful. and the process of solving the problem. After that, you will need to combine or take a look at all group member solution. Then you could select from some of the group member, or could be select only one group member, or maybe combine every group member is okay as well. Okay, depend on your team discussion. Creating new thing by choosing idea that can be used to solve human-centered problem. The context refer to the environment or surrounding factor, such as who is involved, what time period does the problem arise, are there social, cultural, technological, or economic factors involved regarding the problem that you guys select. Condition, is there any constraint? Determinant, not often use this word. Is there time constraint, resource constraint, regulation like law? User or team capabilities, access to technology, the level of urgency of the situation. People are the development of people. It's like training. Does people require any training, or like what skill do they need to have in order to solve the problem, to overcome the problem as well? So your team, you need to select the team solution, right? After each individual propose the solution, your team, you need to select like team solution. So with that, you could put it here regarding your team idea of the solution. For example, for the problem of planning to finish the course on time, the problem could be the course structure and course condition. So in order to solve that, student or people will need to organize planning skill training activity. They will need like roadmap to graduation, for example. It could be like workshop about roadmap to graduation. It could be about time management, decision-making skills, which could help them overcome this problem. Advisor, they could have mentor or advisor as a coach to provide individual advice. Use reflective question, which could help to see one's goals and limitation. Friend seniors. Peer mentoring system helps seniors share their experience in planning their study. Yeah, I remember at UC Merced they have like peer tutoring for some courses on campus as well. Regarding the product, there could be digital platform that like a dashboard system show course studies and require course, and automatic recommendation, deadline notification. We should set deadline on our phone too. Okay, register this today. Smart guide and infographic showing the flow of compulsory elective checklist of subject that must be studied in each academic year. เหมือนแผนการสอนเนาะ like curriculum. AI assistant, there could be chatbot answer questions such as, what course do I need to take if I want to graduate in 4 years? This one could be developed by the university. Mhm. Regarding the process to overcome this problem, troubleshooting system assessment. For example, we could take a look at our status, the remaining credit, GPA, career goal, is to remind ourselves whether we going along the right path. For example, I remember Professor Christopher Winey told me that his daughter, at first, she enrolled in the lighting program, the major in English, but later on, at first she interested in law school, but later on she feel law school might not fit her goals in life, so she decided to study and go into medical school. So with that, she need to take biology. So in order to meet her career goal, she would need to take more class on biology, chemistry. So knowing her status and knowing her goal help her to overcome the problem. Okay, you can see that. Uh, Analysis. The system or the lecturer help analyze the appropriate path. Okay. Optional course. วิชาเลือกเนาะ selective course I will put in this way. Planning. Create a personal study plan. Okay. Implementation. Register as planned. Use the tracking app. Review and feedback. Every semester, lecturers and students review the results and adjust the plan according to the actual situation. Okay. When I was an undergrad student, it is not required, but when I received a grade, it's like the dog. Yeah, I decided to take that course again during summer. So that's my action on it. Example of using this reference when you use AI. For example, the first discussion was about finding the core concept of human-centeredness using Google Gemini, human-centered issue. So the definition of it is that a solution that put human need, context, and experience at the core. The concept is widely known as human-centered design or design thinking. It's regarding human needs, context, and experience. The second part is brainstorming. For example, can you give example of a human-centered problem in the daily life of student? Okay, and then the answer from AI is that at a self-service restaurant, you notice that people are often confused about where to pick up their cutlery, meat, johnson, after ordering. Problem, the design of flow route in the store confuse customer. So just make it more visible where to get the cutlery, right? Okay. Based on my experience on Monday class, one of the students mentioned that they request to extend the due date. So I'm thinking I could extend for you guys as well if you need it. It could be by tomorrow, 11 p.m. Yeah, I think that's gonna be better for you guys. So I will extend the LEB2 deadline due date to tomorrow by 11 p.m. Okay. I will remember to do it. Because you will need to combine the problem, right? You will need to organize them into topic. And then you need to select one problem from complicated type. And then you will have the individual purpose of solution. After that, you will need to discuss as a group to select one solution. And you will need like AI to like add detail onto it. So I think the process is quite long. So I feel just in case you need more time. So I think it's a good decision to extend the due date for you guys. Regarding the rubric, okay, let's go over it together. The first criterion is that grouping problems leading to key concept. I will assess whether your group be able to organize, prioritize, and categorize problem. This one should be at least 3 problem domain. One of which must be complicated domain. So you this rubric mean that after you combine every member problem based on the type, then you categorize them into like the topic and for the all 4 type of problem. Okay, that's for level 5. Yeah, but if like at least 3 problem domain, gonna be like level 4 and then level 3. Okay. Designing problem solving approach, people, product, and process. This one is the criterion for individual proposed solution. I will assess whether you guys able to design problem solving approach align with the group selected complicated problem. Assess whether you explaining all 3 components like people, product, process. And assess whether each component demonstrate creative and uniqueness and whether it is practical or not. Okay. The third criterion is for individual parts. Okay. We'll assess whether you present the problem solving approach derived from your group selected problem. And will assess whether it lead to a new outstanding interesting solution. Assess whether it's distinct from other group member. Yeah, that's one of the rubric here. I will assess regarding the fourth criterion, referencing the use of AI as a thinking assistant. Again, assistant, not the leader. Okay, so I suggest you guys to come up with your solution by yourself first, and then you could use AI to add more detail to it. Okay. If you include a reference acknowledging the use of AI as an thinking tools, you will receive level 2, but if not include, then you will receive level 1. Okay. Okay, so that's the activity assignment. Right now, I will pause here. So this is a example of class activity today, the activity assignment. Okay, so this group, they combine the obvious problem, combine the complicated problem from the team member, combine the complex problem. Later on, they categorize it into type, like obvious. These are problem about studying. These are problem about transportation. These are problem about daily life. For the complicated, problem about energy, problem about traffic jam, problem about criminal issue or scam, problem about study, problem about relationship, group relationship, problem about money management. For the complex, so they separate into type of problem and then they categorize it. But you're gonna have many slides if you do this way, but it's one of the way to do it. Okay. Later on, they let's see. It takes some time to load. Later on, they select which one they select. They select อ่านหนังสือไม่ทัน the problem with prepare for exam, like prepare ourselves for exam. So they select this topic. So it's about studying. So this is the individual proposal, right? So each person, each team member propose the solution, and then they choose the best idea. So they select the best idea, and then they propose it. Okay. And then they show the AI generated reference that they have used. So these are the generated AI that they have used. So that's the example here. Okay. The other example is this one. So they combine all the problem from complex type of their team member. They combine complicated problem, there are many complicated problem, and they categorize into type. You can see here, about technology problem, about goal in life, about environment, about health. And then they categorize for all type of the problem. And from complicated problem, their team select problem about health, about leg pain during jogging or exercising. So each individual propose solution, and then they select solution from 2 team members. They combine them, and then they propose solution. And the AI reference, they provide the reference here. So this is an example of the activity assignment process. Okay. Okay, so you guys can discuss and working on this activity assignment. So I will save my slide and send to Line group. And as I plan to like reply you guys regarding the group number, you can send in the Zoom chat for me. Okay.